welcome to this chat view with Donna Blinston and the English sisters. Hello, Donna.
Hello, how are you?
We're very well. Yeah, we're very well. It's lovely and sunny out there today, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been reading your book, Psychobabble.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
You've got 2 copies there. Our copy's over there.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here we have it. Psychobabble. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good to,
good.
Fresh.
Yeah, because it's straightforward as well and very easy to read. You know, so
Thank
it's just even for for us that we've already studied NLP.
Yeah, it's nice to refresh. And
It
you
is
have like
nice.
little anecdotes that are different.
Yeah.
Aren't they? They're really cute. Like
They are
the
cute.
sandwich. What was it? What?
Oh, the feedback sandwich.
Feedback sandwich. That was so cool.
What's
I keep thinking about sandwiches.
Yeah. Tell us about the feedback sandwich.
Well, basically, whenever you're giving feedback, constructive feedback, you'd start off with your top layer, which is your top slice of bread, I guess, and that's your positive comment about what they've done.
Yeah.
In the middle is 1 or 2 things they could do even better. So it's not pointing out what they've done wrong, it's just ways that they could make it better next time, and then finishing it off. I've done it upside down, really, haven't I? Finishing it off with an overall positive result, and that's your sandwich.
Oh, cool.
So you're giving them sort of like a sandwich of advice, really, rather than it being, anything that's negative or disempowering them.
Because usually people start off with the negative stuff, don't they? I've called you in here because, someone says you're not doing this quite right.
Yeah.
And that is, that puts a dampener on the whole thing, doesn't
Well, it puts a dampener, it puts you in the defensive, doesn't it?
It does. And I think for the person giving the feedback, if you've got that idea that immediately you're going to give them something positive, your attitude and your perception and the way you speak, your body language, everything's different. So if you're thinking, what can I say positive about them, automatically that atmosphere is going to be different. So it helps the individual giving the feedback as well as the person that's receiving it.
Yeah. It's a really great piece of advice, yeah.
Well, we've been guests on your radio
I
show,
know.
which is such an honour.
Yeah,
the
NLP View.
I mean, you have so many fabulous guests coming out, don't you?
Oh, it's been amazing. And the amount of people that are engaging and enjoying it and asking advice, it's just been wonderful. There's more and more people that are just flowing with the juice of what it can do for you. And it's just, I love it. I loved it, the idea of the show when I started. And now that it's up and going, it's just amazing.
So
It really is. And your show was just wonderful. It was. Thank you. Lovely. It really was.
So what gave you the idea to, be
the host,
being
yeah.
a radio presenter? I mean, that's a big step. First you're an author.
And no, first of all, you're a nurse, because we know about the fantastic work you do as a nurse, and you're also specialised in bloodborne diseases. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, I treat patients with hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and HIV. So
where you also use NLP.
I do, yes, a lot. And half of that is as much to build the relationship with them and step into their world, because I was brought up wrapped up in cotton wool. I had so naive. I had no idea about the diseases, the different lifestyles that people have. And one thing that NLP taught me is how to be able to respect where somebody else is coming from, and to think what must be happening for them, for what's happened to be a truth, or what they're thinking to be a truth. And once you step into that mindset, you can start to understand where they're coming from. Whereas me being brought up with absolutely no idea and walking around with rose-tinted glasses on all the time, I didn't even know that existed, really. It was like, I knew it existed, but I didn't know it was round my corner, whereas because of the NLP, I've been able to understand where other people are coming from and take that back seat. And it's not prejudging people, and I don't prejudge people anyway, but it just gives you the tools that you can, I suppose, get other people.
Yeah.
I think it's that. It's what's making them tick, what's happening for them, how you can help them. Because, I don't know, as part of being a nurse, you've got that natural nurture side to you where you want to help people. And some people don't need helping, they don't need sympathy, they just want someone to understand where they're at and guide them.
Yeah.
And that's where I think, that's where the NLP has helped me, because I don't, people don't need mothering, they need helping and they need, that direction. So that's where it's changed my work, and the results with my clients has been brilliant. They're very much engaged, and because we've got that level of rapport and respect from the beginning, there's not as many people that don't attend clinics, which is a group of patients there. They tend to not attend clinics as often as other people.
Right.
So I find that mine aren't. They're always coming, they meet me halfway, and whatever it is that I'm asking them to do, they do.
Yeah.
Which is fab for me, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is brilliant. It makes your job a lot easier, but it also makes, so being together easier as well for both parts.
Well, it's
fantastic.
important to come back to the clinics, isn't
Well, of
it?
course.
When they've got serious
They
diseases.
have to have treatments.
Yeah.
It's an important part.
They're a group of people that they live with a stereotype, and for some of them it's easier to be that stereotype rather than to try and change.
I think
They
they can't see beyond the stereotype. They think they are the stereotype.
Yeah, it is, and they do, and it's sad because half of them just got really sad circumstances behind them, and it's what was here in the first place to make this happen, and it's working out what that was and realigning their sense of self, what's important for them, and just challenging their perceptions really. And once you start just shaking that stereotype box, they realise that they're not just this thing here, they're everything else. And when you can start doing that, they run for themselves because they've got that own self-motivation. And that's, for me, what, floats my boat, I guess.
Yay! And so going back to the radio show then, I mean, how do you have time for all of this?
I know.
Because you've got a young baby as well.
I know.
Well, I had a wonderful opportunity, really. I was interviewed myself by June Stoyer, the host of the Organic View.
Yeah.
She bought my book, read the book, and wanted to interview me. So off I went and did the interview with her. And she said, well, would you do another interview around Father's Day and how you can use NLP to build relationships up with your fathers and families? I was like, yeah, of course I will. Did that interview, then another interview in healthcare, another interview and applying it within the organic business world. And then she just said, do you fancy hosting your own show? And I was like, okay, why not? And that was like the 12th of July or something, and the first show was the 28th of July. It was just all boom, boom, boom. Wow. And it's that NLP presupposition, possible in the world is possible for you, it's just a matter of how.
Yeah.
And I thought, I can do it, other people do, I just need to work out the how bit. And so I said yes, and then the next thing I know, 2 weeks down the line, it started, and 8 weeks down the line now, and it's getting more popular, and I'm meeting people like you and everybody else, and it's fab.
It is fab. It does enrich your life, doesn't it, when you talk? I mean, we love doing these chat views, especially for this reason, for the same reason, because we find that we get a lot out of them ourselves, don't we?
We do.
We love sharing them as well, but every single person we talk to, we learn something from
And
it.
it's enriching, isn't it?
It's very enriching.
And it's like what you said, it's getting out, presupposing that you can do anything that anyone else can do, and maybe just pushing yourself and getting out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, someone else in your position might say, well, I haven't got time for that.
I mean,
I'm a mother, I'm a nurse, I'm an author, I'm so many other things, that's enough. But this opens up a realm of infinite possibilities
really
for everyone.
Does, yeah.
It does, completely. And with it, where you're saying how you enjoy interviewing other people, I've met people that I would never have met. I aspire to them and I've read their books, but I've never spoken to them. I'm just, I know them through their book.
Yeah.
And I'm reading and researching in different areas, preparing myself for the interview. But there's so many people doing amazing work, applying it in different fields that, I had no, I didn't understand the concept, but not an understanding of how it works. Yeah. So it's enhancing me amazingly. The stuff that I'm learning is just, it's like there's just not enough time in the day, really. No. But the stuff is amazing.
But do you find, maybe you find like us, that when you're doing these exciting and new things, you actually have more time for your family? Do you find that? Because it's like a paradox, isn't
yeah,
it? You think you'd have less time, but I think that because you're doing something that you're really passionate about, you have more time. Because like when you are with a family, you really appreciate it, and you're really calm and serene. Do you find that?
Yeah, completely. The amount of people like say, "How do you fit it in?" And I'm like, I don't actually know how it's fit in because my days were full. But now it's in, and I'm still. It's like the weekend. We had a christening on the Sunday, and on the Saturday we went and had a walk down to Barmouth and spent like 4 or 5 hours just playing on the beach and just did nothing other than being for the day.
Yeah.
Whereas on the other hand, I thought, I've got an interview tonight on the radio show. But that was because I was comfortable with what I'm doing, and I'd read her book and everything like that was sorted. I was just, no, this is our time, and there was never a panic. I don't know. You fit it in. You just find the time. I don't know. I can't really answer that, but you do definitely.
You do. I mean, time is such a playful element anyway, isn't it? It really is.
And I think so many people, like, I think when you have less things to do in the day, you tend to, like, your mind, instead of like being in the moment, you tend to future pace and go and maybe worry about what you have to do. Whereas when you've got so much to do, if you're in the zone, I mean, you obviously have the skills because you studied NLP and you've got the, you've got the presence,
you've got the know-how,
But if you become in the zone and you just become, doing what you're doing at the moment. So your mind, it's like the opposite of multitasking. You're one-tasking. So when you're doing it, you are there 100% and giving your 100%, and I think that's what expands time.
Maybe that is what expands
Definitely.
time. Yeah, because I mean, so many people would say, "How do you do it?"
Because I mean, you have mothers that are just
mothers,
that's it, and that's they're saying, "I can't manage,
I can't handle it." But it's probably because they don't have perhaps some other kind of passion, like what you were saying. Yeah, that is a good.
Well, anyway,
we're going down our little ramblings.
What's your next interview, Donna, on the NLP?
My next interview is tonight. No, it's not tonight. We're on Thursday. It's on Saturday night with a lady called Deborah Rothman, and she's wrote a book, Talk to Me First, and it's all around sex education and how you can help yourself to be able to talk to your children about sex and relationships, body image, so that the parent is comfortable. So I know even now, I still think, that magic question of where the babies come from. You're like, oh no, here we go. And it's that of if the child possibly feels that you're holding something back, then is there a naughtiness to it?
Yeah.
So her book is brilliant. What a credit to her. It's really, really good, and it gives loads of advice, and it puts the other spin on it. And I think it's all around making the child feel secure. And I suppose the NLP element for me is around if there's limiting beliefs or insecurities for the parents around it, that's going to be passed on to the child.
Absolutely.
So it's looking at those dimensions and helping the parent deal with those questions. And kids today, they're so, like my brother's only 13, and some of the things that he watches, I wouldn't have even, it just wouldn't have been, it wasn't there.
No,
I
it
was
wasn't there.
There's a lot going round now.
It wasn't there, no.
It wasn't at all, was it?
No.
The playground conversations are, they're just so much, older. They're very old, children are older headed at a younger age. I think it's society's way of, everyone's got to be older, you've got to be like the pop stars and the celebrities, and they're not children for long enough. And I think that's what society's kind of doing. Not for everyone, depends on where you are and everything.
Yeah.
But because society's bringing children up quicker, they're approaching and looking at things that they shouldn't really be looking at, but with younger eyes. So it's how can you manage that? And that's where, her work is around the sex educator and how she applies it and how she helps with relationships with parents and children and whole family dynamics, and there's loads of teaching for teachers, and it would be really good.
It is. I think you may be a little psychic or telepathic, because we're going to release this interview on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So the show will be Saturday evening.
Yeah.
So, everyone, go and watch the NLP View.
Yeah, go listen, because it's a radio,
Because it's called the NLP View, sometimes we think like it's a TV program. Maybe that's next for you, Donna.
That could be.
No.
Yeah.
You never know. The opportunity comes along, I wouldn't say no.
There you go.
Let's work out how.
It'll fit in somewhere, won't it?
It will. It will.
Yeah. Well, we greatly admire your work and what you're doing. You know, as an author and in your radio show, you're such a fantastic inspiration to everyone. And also your work that you're doing as a nurse, you've really and truly inspired us, Donna. Yeah. And it's been wonderful having you on this chat view with us today. And we really are honestly sincere when we say this, aren't we?
We are.
We often think of you, and you know, because we've spoken before privately, and the stuff you do with your patients, you know, it just brings a smile to our faces, really, because we know that things can change. And we say Donna Blinston is out there and she is changing the world.
Yeah.
And we say that, and so, you know, that is that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it is true.
Oh, it's amazing to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is. It's fantastic.
That's me blushing.
Oh,
No.
so keep up the good work,
Keep
and
up,
I'll catch
yeah.
up with you soon. And
Okay.
lots of love.
And you
Lots of
too.
love.
You too.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.